My girlfriend is turning 21 and wants me to throw her a party. How do I break the news that no one will show up? Birthdays have always been hard on my girlfriend. She's had a few parties as a child where no one showed up, and since moving states in the middle of high school she hasn't made close friends. Here at college, she tries hard to make friends. She talks well to people on a superficial basis but doesn't have any real friends. She's never been invited to a college party and has often missed out on many typical activities. We 21M and 20F have been together for 3 years, since freshman orientation. I don't have friends but I'm happy that way. I like keeping to myself if I'm not spending time with her. Since she's naturally extroverted, she spends her free time with me, or at club meetings trying to connect to people. She's asked if I could put together a small party, so I invited some acquaintances, my roommates, etc. Everyone said no. I gave the invites well in advance too. I don't know how to break the news to my girlfriend, she's been so excited. She thought providing free food and drink would be a great way to make friends. But people don't want to come for even that. What can I do? Edit. Why do all these people you know, friends, roommates, etc., dislike her enough not to come? If she is extroverted, what's going wrong with how she interacts with people to make them not want to be around her? I don't know. She can be a bit silly and goofy, but I like that about her. She doesn't cause drama, she's a good listener, has a good sense of humor. She's extroverted but tends to be shy around new people. She also tends to act pretty differently depending on the person. I do that too to an extent. Honestly, I don't know why people are all declining. I've never been invited to a party but I'd go to support someone. Why don't I ask them? They all make BS excuses about being busy. Some of these people I know are not busy that day. I don't think they want to insult her to my face. Update. I logged into Facebook at like 2 a.m. last night and my girlfriend has posted a message on the party event wall saying the party was cancelled. She saw the no-shows before I could let her know about it. I called her and suggested some other activities we could do, things like amusement parks or concerts or taking a cooking class. I thought she'd like all those ideas. No thank you. We were kinda quiet over the phone, until she asked me in a really small voice if I could come over. We met outside her dorm at like 3 in the morning. She was crying, as I expected. But it was just watery eyes, not full-on sobs how she usually cries. It's okay, she said. Some people aren't meant to have friends. I told her she was exaggerating, that she just needs to look in different places, etc. She shook her head. No, I'm done. This morning at breakfast we passed a lot of mutual acquaintances. Usually my girlfriend smiles and says hello. Today she just kept her eyes on the pavement, not looking at anyone. She barely ate. But other than that she seemed like her normal self with me, talking and laughing. She just wouldn't look at anyone else. She told me how she's going to use this extra time to get better in her classes, to work on her jewelry and maybe open an Etsy shop. To read more books. I asked her if this is really what she wanted. No, but life doesn't always give you what you want. I didn't want to be an engineer. I didn't want to live in a basement alone. I didn't want to hate college and wish every day that I could drop out. But you make the best of it. Her voice was breaking as she said this, but she didn't cry. She left the breakfast table after that and said she wanted to be alone. Where the hell do I go from here? Her actual birthday is tomorrow, we were throwing the party a week later, and she insists she doesn't want to do anything. Is it bad that part of me sort of agreed with her, that some people aren't meant to make friends? I don't think I am, but obviously she wants friends and it's making her miserable. Edit, I am sitting with her in her dorm room right now. She's on the bed reading, I'm on the couch minding my own business, just being near her. She is okay. Update 2. Short update here. I stayed with my girlfriend for a while last night. She just read a book and didn't talk much. I cuddled her a bit, but she mostly wanted space. This morning, I came to her room with flowers and a gift. She accepted the flowers with a smile. She told me she wanted to go home to her parents this weekend. I was pretty sad about that, I wanted to make her feel loved and special. But she said she needed to get off campus for a bit, so I said okay. I took her to the bus stop, said goodbye, and now here I am. She did love the present though. It was a book she'd been wanting for a while. Hopefully she'll feel better when she comes back. Update 3. Anyway, the school year is in full swing and she cries all the time. At least 3 times a week, if not more. She feels like she's taking advantage of my kindness, so she tries not to cry in front of me. She's completely abandoned the search to find friends, and doesn't go out except for food, class, etc. There are happy moments too, and she'll still go out with me, but she just seems fragmented overall. She actually did pursue therapy at our university, because she felt like she really needed someone to talk to that wasn't me. They informed her that all the spots they had were full and that unless she was a suicide risk they didn't have room. Heartless, right? It really made her feel bad, but she didn't want to lie and say she was a suicide risk. She feels lonelier than ever. There's no doubt in my mind that she's depressed. She pours all her energy into schoolwork and hasn't really touched her hobbies much either. She can't afford therapy other than the university, and they won't give it to her. Is there any way she can get the help she needs?
Relevant comments. Relathro 404. I've read the entirety of your other thread and your comments here, and I have a few thoughts that I hope you won't take personally. You seem to truly care for your girlfriend, and I think you're a great boyfriend to her. That being said, neither of you seem to understand social interactions, and you seem to be reinforcing each other's misunderstandings. You wrote that she skips from group to group events but hasn't even been able to get a girl to go for coffee with her. That's understandable. You would have to meet up in a group setting a few times in college to be memorable and comfortable enough for a one-on-one invite. I feel like she fails on getting the one-on-one invite and she feels as though she's doing something wrong, and you feel as though she's doing something wrong, when in reality she's approaching the situation incorrectly to begin with. If she wants to make friends, she should sign up for book clubs, knitting circles, jewelry-making groups, and go to them continuously. Go to www.meetup.com and find some groups for her in your area. They will usually have a good mix of college kids and older in a college town, giving her exposure to people in all stages of life and more importantly social spectrums. These are people who want to make friends. Frankly, the fact that you aren't interested in friends is holding her back, though that's not your fault. She wants to be social and has entered into a cycle of not having friends - getting desperate - alienating people through desperation - not having friends. You may feel as though she should just give up, but if she picks up on that, it's only going to make her worse. She is clearly a social person. I have a feeling that you not wanting friends as a personal choice, and focusing solely on work and your girlfriend, is deterring many people who know you two as a couple. They probably see you as cold and or emotionless, even if you don't mean to be that way. It is unusual to be disinterested in friendship, especially after so long. You've had roommates for 3 or 4 years in college, get along reasonably well with them, and yet have never been interested in them as friends. Of course they won't come to your girlfriend's party. I wouldn't want to either. I would feel weirded out by even being asked. If you want to help your girlfriend, you may just have to step outside of your own social comfort zone a little and at least try to be a little friendlier. Couples tend to meet people together, and if you're coming off as aloof and not needing human interaction by choice, you're going to run people off away from her. Edit. By the way, I don't mean to put the onus on you to change. If she was here asking for advice, I would be focusing on her. But she's already gotten some great advice from other people here, and I wanted to comment on some things that were sticking out to me in your replies. _Procyon. You're in your senior year, right? Unfortunately, by now most people already have a circle of friends. It's going to be much harder to suddenly become the new person in a group who have been hanging out together for years. Close friends in college may not happen for her. She should focus more on getting through school and what comes after. Who knows, maybe everyone in her new job will love her. At the very least it will be a fresh start. Have you considered moving in together after school? I'm pretty introverted and don't hang out with people much, but I come home to my boyfriend every day and that means a lot to me. I don't ever feel lonely.
OP, we do plan to move in together. I plan to propose after graduation. But she doesn't have any plans for herself for after graduation, so I don't know if she'll be happy or not.